Hello my friends, I hope you're well today. I just wanted to show you guys how I do this eye look here. I've had my friends and family members asking me just to show them how I do my eye looks, and they needed some tips and tricks on how to apply the eyeshadow, where to put it, and things like that. We did have a little mishap in the middle of filming the eye look, so I had to switch from this eye to the other eye. So I am so sorry about that. I hope that you like it, and I hope that I answered all of your questions. And let me know if you can think of anything else. But let's get right into it. Alright guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and clip back my hair. Alright, so I'm gonna be going in with the e.l.f. Invisible Sunscreen Primer. And then I'm going to be putting the Power Grip Primer on top as well as on my eyelids, because I love to use this as an eyelid base. I'm going to open my fingers a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and put it where I like to put my blush, and then on top of my eyes, just because, and in my T-zone, just because I like for my blush to last all day long. I'm a blush girly through and through, so this helps it to stay longer. You know what, we're just gonna go ahead and put it everywhere. I am applying the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. I put it on my eyelids, and then honestly just everywhere, but I try to concentrate it on my eyelids and my T-zone the most. And now I'm gonna go ahead and zoom you guys in to do the eye look. Okay, so if you happen to see this big old forehead right here, I have my eye look that I'm recreating pulled up on my PC behind me. So I'm gonna be using that to help guide me, so that I can help guide you what to do, where to put things. So just don't mind that. So today for the eye look, I'm going to be using the 𝒂𝓃𝓀 palette and my Monsters University Revolution palette. And then probably just a little bit of glitter on top, and that's going to be it. But really it's not the palette that you use, it's the colors you use and the brushes that you use. So you can really mix it up with the colors that you like, but I will be showing you what colors I use and what brushes I use. I lied, I'm going to be using the 𝒂𝓃𝓀 palette as well. So I'm going to be going in with Edges. It's an orangey brown color. So we're going to be going in with that color first. And I'm going to be applying it to my crease. And you want to kind of pat and go back and forth. Now, the key to good eyeshadow, in my opinion, is building up the color and building up the blending. So it's a lot of blending. Now, I can do a good eye look in like 10-20 minutes, but I can also do it in 5 minutes, you know? So it really just takes a lot of practice. So I'm just doing a sweeping motion. I'm holding my brush kind of in the middle, almost to the end, but it's just a regular old fluffy brush. The bristles are fluffy, so you want to find a really good fluffy brush. Now I'm going to take my densely packed fluffy brush. If you take a look at the bristles, you can see the difference in how packed they are. So this is going to be our fluffy brush we want to put the color on with, and this is going to be our blending out brush. I don't typically put any color on this one, but I just take it and blend out the top of the shadow to help get us to where we want to be with the blending. Alright, you guys, so I started filming this look and somehow I've lost the footage. I don't know if I forgot to hit record or what, but we're gonna have to show you on this eye this look. I think I'm gonna use a different glitter because I don't really like how this gold is working with these colors. I'm gonna take Anastasia Beverly Hills brush. It's double-ended, so this is the fluffy side. I'm gonna be taking the flat brush side. And I'm gonna go in with a dark brown color. I'm gonna take this color right here. And I'm gonna be putting that on my inner corner. So that's gonna be, nope, not the inner corner. Whoopsies, on the outer corner of my eye. This is my favorite kind of look to do. Which is do a crease shade, and then I like to do a dark color on my outer corner, and then a glitter on the inner corner. So we're just trying to concentrate that color. I keep going back into my palette to add more color. I'm just tapping it on to get started because browns are a little bit difficult to work with. But I'm gonna blend this in. I'm gonna take the other end of the brush, nothing on it, and we're just gonna start blending that in to the crease. I'm gonna mix the colors. So I'm gonna go in with Credit from the Jacquiana palette and Edges, which is the color we used on our crease. And I'm gonna just put that here to help blend that in. It is helpful to have a color switch, and all you do is just spread the brush in there and it takes the color off. So that now I can have a brush with no color so that we can blend that in. Now it's okay to not get it perfect, but I'm gonna go back in with our crease shade and just go on top of that. And I'm going back in with the fluffy brush to blend that in. Now, everyone is different. If you like to carry the color all the way up to your brow, that's fine. I tend to do it more towards this side of my brow and then leave the arch of my brow open. But everyone has their own opinion on that. Now I'm gonna grab a flat brush and we're gonna go in with that brown shade again, just to help the colors a bit uneven. But these brushes are good for getting in your crease without it going above your crease, if that makes sense. I'm just kind of trying to get that in there. Just concentrating this. There. think that's pretty good. So now I'm going to be going in with, I'm going to use my Real Techniques brow highlighting brush. It's kind of flat on one side and then tapered on this side, if you can see. So I'm going to be taking that. I'm going to be going in with, you can use whatever color you'd like, but I think I'm going to go in with this color or this color, or we can do the gold or this one. I'm going to start with the gold so it can match the other side. But for this one, I like to just pat it on like this. Going back in. I'm not tapping this one off. No, I'm just sweeping it on like this so that we can really get the color on there. Beautiful. Y'all, look at that shimmer. Love that so much. Now I'm going to be going back in with my Anastasia, taking a little bit of that brown, tapping it off, and we're just going to blend these colors together just by overlapping it just a little bit. See how that kind of blends it in better? Super easy. Now you can do this up to your liking. I like it to be when you're looking straight ahead. I like for it to be a little bit further than my pupil. Does that make sense? Now, if you don't have any glitters, you can stop here. But I think I'm going to be, let's see, should we use this one? It's kind of like a gold. Or we have this gold. I don't like that one. I'm going to go in with this one here. It's a holographic gold color. It's just in a little sample jar. Back when Sephora used to carry glitters. Now, you do need some sort of glitter adhesive to be able to use this. I've got to find mine, so hold please. I'm going to go in with my Sephora glitter adhesive. To take some on the back of my hand. And then go in with a clean, thin brush. We're going to use this one. Look at how cute this is. A little slithering brush. I'm going to take this thin brush. I'm going to go in a little bit on the back of my hand. We're going to put this right on top of where you want the glitter. Going in with a little bit more. Now we're going to take the glitter on. I'm going to take it on this clean, flat, fluffy brush. And we're just going to cut that right on top. Woo, girl, look at that. And we're going to do the same to this side. Now, after we do our base, then we can do our under eyes. So I'm going to go do that, and then I'll be right back. Okay, you guys, we are in a little bit of a different angle. But I just did my eye look, and now we're going to go in and finish with our base. I am going to go in with Hint Hint Skin Tint. A little bit on. Now I'm going to go in with a brush first, and then with a beauty blender. So I'm going to be using the Eco Tools Angled Complexion Brush. get this in first. Now I am going to go in with my Juno & Co. sponge, just to pat that in. My Maybelline Instant Age Rewind. I like the pink one. We're looking very ghostly. Looking very ghostly at the moment. But once we add some color back in the face, that would be better. Now I'm gonna go in with my bronzer. This is the Revolution bronzer, Ultra Cream Bronzer in light. And tap into that. Tap it off on the back of my hand. It's very orange, honestly. Not my favorite color, but it's what I've got, you know? Some color back to the face. Now for this look, it's feeling very orangey, so we're gonna go in with the Rare Beauty in the shade Joy blush and the liquid luminizer in the shade Mesmerize. Don't need a whole lot of this. I am going to put some on the back of my hand and mix it a teeny little bit with Mesmerize. We're just gonna mix that up. Back of a brush, just a little bit. Now this is way too much. You do not need this much. I did not realize how much I put on there. My favorite thing to use is this Eco Tools brush. It's a buffing brush. I got it in a pack with all of the brushes. There was like a bunch in a pack. Like it came with all of these. And some more, but I'm just gonna take some, coat the brush. And then we're just gonna put this on. I'm gonna try to stay on the apples of my cheeks. Now we look a little crazy, but you gotta trust the process. Our sponge. Gonna blend this in. Now look at all the blush I have left. Wasteful. Beautiful. Look at how glowy. Beautiful. Okay. Now we are going to be going in with some powder. I'm going to be going in with the Huda Beauty powder in the shade Sugar Cookie. Now for this, I'm going to be using my trusty dusty powder puff. gonna be taking a little bit on there, patting it on our hand, and then putting it under our eyes. Let me get the creases out first. Fun little dust cloud. Eco Tools, because I don't want to do too much. I want to keep some of the glow. Oh my god, can you see the little fuzzies? Now, I like to double blush, so we are going to go in with the Lunar Beauty 𝒂𝓃𝓀 blush palette. Ow. Now we're gonna go in with this bottom shade here, the shade Stargaze, and just put a little bit on top. I need to bring that up around here. This flash is making me look so pale. I swear I do not look this pale in person. The makeup looks so much better in person. Now we're gonna take my precious Dior Backstage Glow Face Palette. My Dior highlighter palette. I'm gonna take an angled brush. I've literally had this brush for 15 freaking years. This thing came from Wish. Back when Wish was a thing. Like 10 years ago. Like dead. I'm dead serious, y'all. 10 years ago. I'm gonna go in with this one, and we're gonna take a little bit of the pink today. You know, it's usually whatever I'm feeling. Watch this, you ready? Oh, I hope the camera can catch it. Can you see? Now, I do not need a lot. Alright, you guys, so I finished my base, and now this brush right here, this is my all-time favorite brush to use. It came in an Eco Tools pack, but it's called Diffuse Shadows brush. Now I'm gonna go in with the color we used in our crease on my brush. I'm gonna get it on both sides, tap off the excess a good bit, because you don't want this to be super concentrated. Put it on the bottom. Do both sides. Just gonna take a little fluffy brush to diffuse that a little bit so it's not so harsh. And now, this is one of my favorite parts. I'm gonna take the Dior palette. I'm gonna go in with my pencil brush. I'm gonna take this shade and this shade here. Tap a little bit off. And we're gonna shine up the brow. Now this is a step that I do forget sometimes. But I try not to. We're gonna take another and we're gonna highlight the inner corner. I'm going in with Trust Issues from the 𝒂𝓶𝓃𝓀 palette. And then I love to combine the colors. So I'm gonna go back in with the white. I'm gonna put the white on top. See how it just adds that extra little bit. 𝒂𝓊𝒸𝓃𝓀, which is a lovely brown shade. I love to do the bottom lashes also. Look at that, girl. Beautiful. If you want to know what I did for my lips, I did the e.l.f. lip stain in the shade Power Mom. Then I went in with Michaela and e.l.f.'s Wedding Lip Liner. And then I put Wet n Wild lip gloss on top in the shade Aquarius. It's like just a little bit of a shimmer gloss. But this is the combo. Alright, here is the final look, you guys. I loved filming this for you, but if you have any other questions, do please let me know. I hope that I went over everything good, but if you think of anything, let me know and I absolutely will do it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!